What's going on, everyone? This is EK1 Gaming here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the PTS for TU10 Phase 2, and we're going to be taking a closer look at the loot quality and loot drop rate. So we are on a heroic mission right now, so we're just going to go through the heroic mission. This is Jefferson Trade Center, and we're basically just going to see the quality of loot that we get and also see the frequency of loot. Considering this is heroic, I'd expect something from like 60% stat wise plus. I think that's quite reasonable to ask for. We shouldn't really be getting any stats below 60%, but you know, they haven't clearly made it, you know, you're guaranteed to get this percentage of a stat, so it's kind of difficult for us to gauge whether it's working or not. Of course, we don't want to see any purples anywhere, and I mean literally not out of boxes, not out of anything, because that was addressed. They said that they would take the purple out. So, you know, we'll just run through the mission, and when we drop some loot, we'll take a look at it and we'll see what we get. So I'm just going to fast forward it so you guys don't have to watch the whole mission, because that's going to bore you to death. So when we drop some loot, when we look at it, I'll pipe back in and we'll have a bit of a discussion about the loot that we drop. You are going to be surprised at some of it, and some of it you're not going to be surprised at. So as you can see now, we have picked up our first piece of loot. It's not that far into the mission, it's only the second stage. And the stats are, as I say, around 60-65%. So it's not too bad so far. You know, we've dropped one item. Okay, it's not the targeted loot, because the targeted loot is the China Light in this mission. So the first bit of loot that we dropped was the AR, not target loot. However, you know, let's just see what the rest of the mission brings. And it wasn't too long, and we got a double drop of China Light, which is the target loot. Now let's take a look at the stats. Again, both around 60, well, over 60%. So not too bad, actually, if you consider we just dropped two different items, a mask and gloves, China Light, which is the target loot, and both of them had half decent stats on, which is a big thing. You know, it's okay having the frequent drops, but are they going to be worth using, or, you know, worth putting onto your build? So let's go ahead now and see when we next drop some gear. So once again, we've just killed the little boss because this is invaded, and we've got two items. Again, both over or hitting 60%. Now this is where it takes a turn for the worse when we go to the Black Tusk key box, and BAM! Two purples. So of course at this stage I'm a little bit like, why am I getting purples out of crates in a heroic mission, which we were told wouldn't happen? Of course, this has happened a lot of times now. This is not the first time I have come across purples. And we're going to basically now cut away from this mission, and I'm going to show you where I've got more purples from during heroic on the world tier. Now, obviously, you'll all be aware you can go around and collect these boxes, Black Tusk, cleaner boxes, etc. from around the map. And sometimes they have little cases with them. Again, purple, which is not good. You know, we should not be getting purples. And again, a purple and a gold in the box. This is on heroic, and this is in the open world. Now, after getting all those purples, I thought to myself, let's complete a control point and see what we get in the supply room at the end. Because, of course, we all open that big chest, and hopefully we're going to be surprised and get some good loot from it, because there's nothing like getting a lot of purples from that supply room. But we'll take a look when we do the end of this control point. And of course, control points are known for dropping a lot of loot on the outside as well when you're killing NPCs. So let's take a look at what we discovered. So right now we're about to finish off the boss, and now we're going to check out the loot that we've got. Of course, again, pretty good stats on the drop for doing the actual control point, so the piece of gear you get just for completing it. And then we get a custom P416. The bottom stat very low. I don't know why that's very low, but the other two stats were great. So we can forgive that because obviously you're going to re-roll one anyway. Let's take a look now. Okay, both again over that 60% mark. Again, around 60% or over. Let's take a look at the boss drop now and see what kind of loot he's dropped us. Again, a lot of this is the target loot area, China Light. So yeah, I mean, to me, that's not bad loot, really. You know, when considering there's a lot of loot for a control point. You know, there is a lot of loot here, but there always was a lot of loot when it comes to control points, because of course you get the two bosses. There's a lot of people around. Again, good stats apart from the bottom stat again, so it's kind of letting it down a little bit, because if you got like a gun and you wanted to change the talent, you're stuck with that low stat on the bottom. So I think there is room for improvement. But let's take a look now at the main box, the main loot box inside the control point. So here we go. And all golds and pretty good stats, actually. To be fair, there's nothing there really bad, so yeah, I'm impressed. So what I've done now is I've just traveled to another control point now I've already occupied, and we're going to open up some of the boxes again. Purple with ridiculously low stats. Now this is one that was already occupied, okay, so we can't open the big box or any of the other boxes, but it just goes to show that there is room for improvement when it comes to target loot, you know, quality of loot, the frequency of loot as well, because in Jefferson we didn't really drop that much loot considering it was heroic, although the heroic missions do seem to be a lot easier now. So now what I'm going to do is take you back to the Jefferson Trade Center mission that we were doing earlier and show you the boss loot and the end game loot which we actually picked up when we completed the mission. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, do not forget to hit the like button and of course hit that subscribe button for all of the Division 2 content. We do cover other games and we do like unboxings of technology, best headsets, best microphones to use, anything basically to do with gaming we will cover on this channel. So please hit the notification bell, you'll get notified every time we go live on here or we produce a video. Now of course the end mission, or end of the mission, is always a good place to drop loot, and you'd expect to drop some decent loot there as well. So what we're going to do is end the video there, let you guys see the loot that we got. You'll see all of the loot that we got pretty much from the end game is pretty decent loot. So in my opinion, do I think they've done a good job with the loot and how frequent it's dropping, etc.? I think the frequency needs working on in missions. I think the boxes definitely need looking at again, because why are we getting purples out of crates and boxes? We shouldn't be doing that. And also, all of the stats should be over a certain percent, not have two stats at 100% and one that's like 20%. you know, because if you want to change talents, etc., it's not going to work. So guys, thanks so much. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you all in the next one. Let's go!